Do you feel hip thrusts in your quads and not in your glutes? The big fatty peach. Let's try and fix that. So there could be many reasons as to why you're feeling hip thrusts in your quads. First, let me put on my jacket because I feel a bit naked and I don't want this to get taken down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the reasons why you could be feeling it in your quads, and then I'm going to give you the correct form. So the first reason is due to incorrect form. You want to make sure that you have your feet in a triangle position, so your stance is nice and wide. I'm going to show you at the end. And you are engaging your core and you are tucking your pelvis in and driving up. You also don't want your feet to be too close to you or too far away from you. But because you're feeling it in your quads, that would make me assume that your feet are too close to your body. The second one is muscle imbalances. The fact that you feel it in your quads indicates to me that you have a muscle imbalance. Weak glutes can be a cause of your quads overcompensating during a hip thrust, which is why you're feeling it. This basically means that if your glutes are weaker than your quads, what's going to happen is during the movement, your muscles are going to recruit more of the quadricep muscles instead of your glutes. This could simply be because you are not activating your glutes sufficiently. Remember, the glutes are the biggest muscle in the body and they need to be warmed up correctly in order to be used properly. I personally would recommend trying glute bridges to really focus on strengthening your glutes, because this is a brilliant way and a brilliant exercise to strengthen them. You could just have dominant quads. If you are like me and have dominant quads, then make sure that you are doing a lot of glute activation at the beginning of your workout, a lot of stretches and mini band work exercises. That didn't make any sense, but mini band exercises. And the final one is flexibility and range of motion. Limited hip mobility or tight hip flexors can stop you from recruiting your glute muscles during a hip thrust because your range of motion is just not what it needs to be. If your hip flexors are tight, it can inhibit you trying to engage your glute muscles and shift the emphasis to your quads. So I personally would recommend doing exercises that are going to stretch out your hip flexors. This wants to be done for lengthening. So you want to make sure that you are doing static stretching at the end to make sure that you're helping with your hip flexors. Now let's go over the actual exercise. Right, I'm going to try and explain this as quickly as possible. Okay, so firstly, what you want to make sure that you are doing, your box needs to make sure that it's the actual correct height for you. Don't be, obviously I know if you'll go to a commercial gym, you could be limited, etc. But don't be just doing it at the bench level or at this level. Like, make sure that where it sits naturally is just below your shoulder blades. Because if it's too high for you, you're going to fucking hurt yourself for starters. And if it's too low for you, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to fully lock out, which means that you're not going to be able to target your glutes in the best way as possible, because the hip thrust is there to really engage in the shortened position. So if you can't go all the way up, like this is too low for me, as you can see, then it's going to cause you problems. So that's the first rule. Secondly, when you're doing it, what you need to make sure that you're doing is bringing your foot up to the level of your knee. Okay, once the foot is up to the level of the knee, you bring the next one up, and that's the positioning that you want. If your feet are too close, you're going to target your quads. If your feet are too far away, you're going to target your hamstrings. So make sure that that's where it is. Don't have them too close together. Have them at a nice wide stance, almost like a triangle, and your pussy is the tip of it. Okay? Finally, but not least, don't push through the tip of your feet. Don't push through the balls of your feet. If I see you doing this, I'm going to kill you, all right? What you need to make sure you're doing is make sure that you're driving through the heels of your feet. You don't need to lift your feet up to do this, but sometimes it's good if you're not used to it, to just lift them up so you can really make sure that you are engaging your glutes. Okay, I hope this helped, my lovely ladies. Mwah.